Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 64 of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British trained actors tell fantastical improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. So a few things. First of all, apologies again for the voice. Secondly, a bit of a rules clarification, which we rarely do on this show, but I did slip up in my interpretation of the Revivify scroll. So to clarify, the Revivify scroll that Johann technically found last time, that Thorik now has in his possession, does not require a diamond worth 300 gold pieces to cast, because it's on a scroll, not just on his spell list. So the free revival for them.
We're turning over a new leaf with doing scrolls properly, seeing as we butchered the first couple.
Yeah, we don't seem to be getting...
We don't talk about that.
No.
We don't talk about
that. We don't seem to be getting on very well with spell scrolls.
I can't read.
And sometimes you can read really well.
But yeah, so no components required for the spell scroll. Another bit of admin. I've made the executive decision that we are going to be taking a break over the Christmas holiday period, starting from next week. So this is the last episode of 2022. We will be back in January 2023. So we will be taking a break. We may potentially have some little bits of content to fill your proverbial Christmas stockings between now and then, hopefully. So keep your eyes peeled. Excuse me. On our social media platforms and YouTube, of course. And finally, a big thank you as always to James Webster for his fantastic animated artwork that we utilise as part of the show, and indeed our opening credit sequence. So do check him out, patreon.com/JamesRPGArt, and do give him your support. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Last time, after having defeated the owlbear, our heroes explored the owlbear's pen, looking for any signs of any valuables, which they did find. Coins of varying types, a potion of healing, and 2 spell scrolls, one of silence and one of Revivify, which is quite the find. They then ventured back into the depths of the castle and really tried to find their way around in search of one Gundren Rockseeker, and kind of found themselves to be a little bit disoriented from all of the winding corridors and curtains, and found themselves retracing their steps a few times. They eventually stumbled upon the iron door, which it turned out was the door that they had attempted to enter into the castle through earlier. And just as Johann managed to pick the lock, Thorik decided that he was going to start marking their path so that they wouldn't get lost again. And as he struck through a curtain, he found that some goblins had been following them, or keeping an eye on them at least, as a goblin peered through the curtain. So, shall we roll some initiative?
14.
14.
Mm-hmm.
16 for Thorik.
Oh, you've gone for below 20 this time, eh?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is good. This is quite tight on the initiative front. Okay, because the goblins have got 15. Okay. So it's going to go Thorik, Goblins, Saga, as we don't have Johann, who may very well have just slipped out that back door behind you all.
Johann!
The rogue. Had an abounder. Alright. So, Thorik then, in that case, you are up. At this point, there is a goblin leering at you through this curtain.
So Thorik, having just sliced through it with Gladys, just goes, ah! And I suppose, to be fair, if I've just slit through the curtain with Gladys, I don't have my Warhammer equipped, it'll be Gladys that I've got in my hand.
Correct.
So I will just hack at its face with Gladys.
Alright.
Ooh, it's brilliant. It's a 12.
12. So you strike at it with Gladys, and the goblin kind of almost like takes a step back, and you just manage to catch it in its leather armor, but not enough to pierce through the armor, I'm afraid.
Okay. He'll just go to, yeah, we Warbag, help, Goblin.
You do have is yours Ivor at your disposal?
Oh, Ivor, yes. Ivor, dear, would you would you mind? Would you mind? I'll have him sort of come in and do his usual skimming over my head. He's +3 to hit, is it?
+5.
+5
to attack.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, they hit hard.
that was a 24 then.
Ooh!
No, +6. It's +6 to attack.
Is it?
Yeah.
25.
Look at the Reaver rules. I bet.
Let me just double check this.
I think it's 6.
But
I think it hits.
Well, it's going to hit, but it is a +6. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They hit hard. Okay, so yeah, so that one hits. So let's do 1d12 +3.
Excellent. I found my dwarvish like axie dice as well.
Fabulous.
That is. Oh, I can never tell with the 9s. That's a 9. So 12 points of damage.
How's he going down?
Oh, he's just as this thing like goes back and ducks, he just like aims low and just splats this thing. The axe is bigger than the goblin's body and just
Gross.
straight through.
It's goblin blood everywhere.
Am I not next to a goblin now, or am I still next to another?
As of right now, you're not next to a goblin. You can see a number in the corridor beyond the curtain. They know you're there, though. They can.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, I mean, their goblin's just gone splat. Their goblin mate's just gone splat. So
I will back up towards Saga just so she's like with me and sort of stay on one side so she can maneuver around me.
okay, this is you're in a 5 foot wide corridor, so you're gonna have to kind of shimmy through each other. But you can do that. That's fine. You don't hamper each other's movements. So.
Okay. If it's only 5 foot wide, I'm actually going to go past Saga, because otherwise I think I would stop her from being able to attack.
Okay.
If they come in... Oh, but then I'm basically using you as a meat shield. That's not fair. I'll stay where I am.
You can use me as a meat shield.
No,
Okay.
no, please. No. I'm
No,
gonna
after
stay
you.
in
No,
the-
after you.
No, please. We'll use Ivor as a meat shield.
Yes, that's how we do it. Ivor, you're the shield.
I just like grab him by his belt and just sort of like move him like, you just stay there, fella. You're great.
All right. So it's now these creatures' turns. From where you are, you can't really see what it is that they're doing.
What are you doing? I asked them. What are you doing?
However, you do hear an arrow get released towards Ivor. And that is going to be 12 against his armor class. So it penetrates his... Well, not penetrates, it hits, but bounces off his hide armor. And you hear him hurl out some sort of abuse, calling them smelly swamp rats or something of the like. So then that brings us to you, Saga.
Right. How? So I'm not within melee range, am I?
Why did I do that? I only had one of them attack. What a stupid thing to do.
Well,
You've taken your fingers off the piece, like in chess. So
yeah, that's right. Quite right. I have.
No, I'm joking.
So they're not within melee range, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So it's crossbow time.
Oh.
Can I? Is someone in the way?
I mean, I'm not. I'm short as hell.
The difficulty is where they are at is dark.
I see.
So
the coin's in the room. Oh,
the coin's in your part of the corridor. There's the curtain. There's a little bit of light bleeding through, but it's only... He's not pulled the curtain down. It's just a slash in the curtain. So it's not going to really... There's a curtain kind of in the way anyway.
Okay.
So really it's going to be pretty much impossible for you to see where the goblins are.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and you tell me if it takes my full action or not.
Sure.
I grab the coin.
Yep.
Chuck it so it goes near the curtain.
Okay.
So we can see. Us humans can see.
So the difficulty is more the curtain itself.
Can someone just cut that?
Because
and when I said that, I meant to cut the whole thing. Is what when I said that, like I wanted to like literally cut.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like a bit. So it's just like a little bit of it, sort of hanging at the top.
All right.
But then there is a gap. But...
Okay. Sure. All right. That's fine.
How does this affect my
In which
coin
case then, from where you are then, if you're chucking the coin in so that you can see, from where you are currently stood, you can see one goblin near the other curtain that leads into their tower with the cameras.
Can I now attack, or have I used my action?
I think you can attack.
You're being so generous.
I know.
So generous. We like this. Thank you. With my crossbow, that makes a 17 to hit.
Oh, okay. Let's roll for damage then, please.
Yes. That is 1d8. That's an 8. 6 points of damage.
Ooh, okay. You fire this crossbow off at this goblin, and you manage to get it right in the chest, possibly near a vital organ, but you're not too sure. But either way, the goblin is still standing, but looking in critical condition.
Yeah. Eat my bolt. That's my turn. Ooh, but Boar, it's Boar's turn.
Oh yes, you could get Boar into position. You'd have to send him into the dark room. Well, it's not a dark room anymore, but you would have to send him in.
I am sending him in.
You're charging at the same goblin, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We've not got the barbarian sympathizer with us anymore, so...
Yeah. It's Thorik, you and I have to sit down and have a chat, because it's worrying me.
All right, so he does get a free hit, basically, against him. So do you want to roll the d12 plus 3 for me?
8 points of damage.
Okay, how's he finishing him?
Well, axe to the chest? Maybe. Ooh, axe to where the arrow is, and it pushes it in further.
Oh.
The flat edge of the axe.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot
It's now definitely gone through some organs.
Yes, there's a lot of blood coming out of that wound as it just drops to the floor, and essentially bleeds out. Oh, gruesome. Okay, so presumably that's you done then, Saga. Which brings us to the top of the round with you, Thorik. You've just seen Boar charge through and Annina fire a crossbow bolt at this goblin.
And it's illuminated now. Can I see how many goblins there are, or not really from this angle, sort of looking through?
Because you came so far back into the corridor, I'd say you can't really tell right now.
Fair. I think I'm just gonna charge back through and just hit the closest goblin.
Okay, so
Unless there's anything bigger than a goblin.
No, there is nothing bigger than a goblin.
Great.
So as you charge through, you see a goblin to the left, which is really close to you as you go through what remains of the curtain, and there is a goblin to the right, which is about 15 feet away from you.
Okay. Do either of these goblins look particularly self-important?
No, not particularly. You would have to dash to get to the one that's 15 feet away from you because of the length of the previous corridor.
Just gonna hit this one.
Yeah.
Just gonna sort of one there, one there. After you. And if I could have switched out Gladys on my way to my Warhammer and just bash him.
Nice.
I don't feel as good about hacking things. I'm more of a. It was like the priests of old that weren't allowed to spill blood, but just bludgeoned people anyway. It's that whole kind of thing. It doesn't sit well. Sometimes it does. It's selective. Goblins, they're fair game, but unfortunately, I don't think this is going to hit. That's only a 10.
No, I'm afraid not. You do manage to actually make an impact, but the goblin's armor just takes the hit for him. His leather armor. You don't quite manage to swing it with as much force as you had envisioned.
You're actually wearing half-decent armor. I commend you. Well done. Your compatriots don't always do such things.
Anything else you'd like to do?
I'm gonna just sort of swivel round him, making an opening for Ivor to steal my thunder.
Oh yes, of course.
While he's there. Crikey, that's a 19.
Ooh, nice.
That +6 is pretty spicy.
That is pretty spicy, isn't it? They're not good for much else, but my god, do they hit hard.
4 + 3, 7 slashing damage from an axe.
And how is he being finished?
Oh, just a classic removal of the head. Just
simple but effective.
Yep. The goblin's maybe kind of gloating that I missed him, and then axe digs into the wall. So it's perfectly resting. The head is resting on the blade for a moment before he withdraws it, and it tumbles to the floor.
Oh. And you can hear there are a couple more goblins coming in from the room with the Grick.
The dead Grick.
The dead Grick.
Yes.
Good.
The dead Grick.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's presumably your turn then. So you've
Thorik
got...
checks the ceiling.
So you've got some goblins coming in through that doorway. One of them fires off the one that can't get into the space where you are, fires off a arrow shot at Ivor.
Oh no. It was I let him do it at Thorik, and then Thorik just steps behind us.
So that is going to be a 23 against his armor class.
Oh no, Ivor. No.
So now if I recall...
Yeah, Saga and Thorik are just oh no.
Oh no.
In terms of them taking damage...
Didn't you say they take 3 hits and they're dead?
Hits,
or something
yeah.
3 hits and they're dead. It's however many dice of damage they take, but I think they have to make a DC Constitution saving throw against the average damage of the attack. Okay. So do you want to roll a Constitution saving throw for one of the Reavers for me?
Sure. Does anyone have the stats up?
It's going to be a +3 to whatever you roll.
I only rolled a 5, so it's an 8.
Okay. Oh, which actually he saves.
Oh.
So he doesn't take a hit from that.
Good on you, lad.
Even though it did hit him, it didn't do enough
Yeah.
damage for it to be significant. It wasn't significant damage, basically.
Tis but a flesh wound.
A flesh wound. Okay. However, one of the other goblins that can get into the room, he is going to... Who's he going to pick on? The dwarf or the barbarian? Goblins are snivelling little bastards. They're probably not going to go after the barbarian if they can strike at a smaller foe, are they? So he's going to swing his scimitar at you, Thorik.
Have it.
And that's going to be 18 against your armor class.
It matches, so it hits.
Woo! So that's going to be...
To be wounded by a goblin is maybe the greatest dishonor a dwarf can face.
So as he manages to get you right in the joint of one of your part of your chainmail, that is going to be a measly 3 slashing damage against you.
Still more than he's worth. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Fall back.
However, we do have another goblin, the one that you couldn't get to, Thorik. He slips through the open door that you pass through, coming out of the hobgoblin's barracks. But just before he does so, he's actually going to fire off a bow shot, an arrow at you, Thorik.
Good.
And that also is going to be an 18 against your armor class.
That'll hit.
So we're looking at again a 3 piercing damage against you.
Still just snipping away.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yes.
Possibly. But yeah, so you see that he fires off that arrow at you, manages to hit, and then you just see him dart through that doorway.
Is he going in the room towards where the hobgoblins were?
Yes, correct.
Thought it just says to himself, if you're going for reinforcements, you're not going to find them.
Okay, so that's them done. So, Saga, you are up. You're currently still in the corridor near the iron door that's been left ajar by Johann. So, what would you like to do?
Am I still in crossbow distance to one of them without them having like cover or something?
From where you are, from where the doorway is, it's kind of tucked behind some of the rubble, so you can't really see. You can't really see Thorik. You can just about see Ivor. But you can't see what
I'll
Ivor's...
enter the new room.
Okay. So yeah, as you come in, there's basically the doorway to the left. You've got Thorik and Ivor dealing with a couple of goblins trying to get in. One's managed to get into position, and there's another one just behind him with his bow out, trying to shoot at whoever he can see.
Okay, so I'll come in as much as I can with my 30 feet movement, and then I will crossbow a goblin.
Okay, let's roll to hit then.
Ooh, 21 to hit. We like that.
All right, let's roll some damage.
That's the full 8, so it's 12 points of damage.
Oh, so how are you killing the one that's engaged with Thorik and Ivor?
I would quite like it to go through an eye.
Oh, that old classic. So you run in.
I'm a girl of simple pleasures, you see.
Well, that's it. Nothing too complicated, nothing too fancy. So you run in, crossbow in hand, you take aim, fire off, almost like an effortless shot.
Yeah.
And just manage to, the bolt goes through his eye and passes through the back of his head. It doesn't quite fly out the back of his head. You just see the end just kind of splat out with some entrails of sorts just popping out the back of this goblin's head as it drops to the floor in front of Thorik and Ivor.
Fantastic. Then Boar's turn, because that's all I'm going to do on my turn. So Boar hits, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he does.
it?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, he does. Because he can get into position now. He can get
Yeah.
into the doorway to attack the goblin that had his bow out.
So it was +3, right, to the damage?
Correct. No, +6 to the damage roll. Oh, no, sorry.
No, to the
Sorry.
damage is 3.
You're right. Sorry, yes.
So 10 points of damage.
My Nurofen is wearing off, as you can
Oh,
probably tell.
bless you.
Sorry, say that again, damage-wise?
10 points of damage.
Oh,
Put
okay.
together.
How's Boar finishing him?
I think, much like Ivor, it's going to be just the head clean off.
We're getting proper into the decapitations these days, aren't we? Okay. So, currently then, the only goblin that remains is the one that scarpered towards the hobgoblins, who you can't see him. So I think, for argument's sake, let's take it out of initiative.
Oh.
Is that a dead end that he's gone into?
You'd have to follow him to find out.
Is
We've
there
just been
any...
there, haven't we?
Yeah.
You have...
Do I remember whether it's a dead end?
Well, the thing is you yourselves went round in sort of circles, didn't you? So there's certainly the possibility that... So, actually, yes, I can confirm, definitely not a dead end.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
Is
no...
there any...
The only room that way that doesn't have a second entrance or exit is the one with the owlbear in.
Mhm.
Every other room has got multiple entrances and exits.
I say to Saga, do you want to chase after him to see if he's gone for where the hobgoblins are? See if we can just... Before he goes after anyone else?
I mean, I think that's a good idea, because he'll just get reinforcements, right?
Okay.
But before we go, I want to check the room
Okay.
for any stray loot.
I mean,
Check
I mean,
if
you wanna-
these goblins have anything on them, because they might have, I don't know, some coin or something.
All right, sure.
If we're searching them, he's going to get away.
Oh, that's true. Fine, we'll run after him.
we can come back and loot to your
Yeah.
heart's content. I
Yeah,
promise you.
we'll run after him now, too,
Okay.
Okay.
to make sure he doesn't get reinforcements.
We chase the goblin.
Okay. So you're gonna run through back into where the hobgoblins are, or were, sorry, and the room now appears to be, aside from the carnage that you've left behind, empty. There's no goblin in here.
So what?
Can we see where he's
Obviously-
gone?
So obviously there are only 2 other doorways out of here. There's the one that leads to the owlbear's tower, and one that leads to that sort of antechamber that you were in when Johann crept up upon you.
Can we see where he could have run off to? Like, has he left tracks?
Give me a survival check.
Sorry, that's cocked. I'll do that again. Well, what's my survival? 15.
15. No tracks, unfortunately.
No. Where's he gone? Is there some sort of bloody magical door he's
So there's
disappeared to?
so again, as you're coming through the doorway, you've got a door. As you're looking into the room, a door to your right, south, which leads into the owlbear tower. You have a door to your left, north, which leads to that antechamber.
Do you
I
want
open
to keep
the door
chasing
the
him?
ant- I open the door to the antechamber, just peek in and see if he's there.
Okay. So are you doing it stealthily, or are you
Nah.
just reckless
We just
about?
had a massive scraps around the corner.
Okay. So you peek through the doorway, and you can see there's, because this is like an L-shaped room, right? There was the door that you originally came through, and there was another door that you hadn't been through, which is now open, slight crack in it, with a little bit of light. Go away, Siri. A little bit of light just peeking through.
Point.
Let's go that way.
Okay, right. Now maybe a little quietly, trying to be.
Attempt.
Okay. So you're headed for that door, yeah?
All right.
Now, what exactly are you going to do at this point?
Head towards the door, and well, I'll leave it to Saga. Saga wants to go first, but I was literally just going to peek in, and then
I'm happy for Thorik to peek in.
I'm just going to literally, without touching it at first, I would just want to peek in the crack, but be ready.
Okay.
And I'm being quiet now, if possible. But
so without opening up the door fully, peeking into the crack, you can just see to the northern side of this large remains of possibly a tower, because it's got rounded walls. And there is lying almost... Well, I say lying, actually. Stood... and with keen attention, a wolf on what looks like a bed of straw. That's all you can see from where you are without opening the door any further.
Thorik will whisper in Saga's ear. Wolf. Probably more than just that in there.
I think this is the right way to go.
How are you feeling?
Good. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Okay.
You.
I'm all right.
And I'll just take my crossbow and be like, I'm ready to shoot.
And I'll kick the door in.
Okay. You kick the door open and it swings open. And you can see, this is a chamber that has been set up almost like a crude living space. There are thick furs thrown on the floor to serve as carpets. There are old trophies hanging on the walls. And there's a large bed to the north side of the room. And a brazier of coals burning brightly. There is a round table with several chairs standing to the south near the door, but just behind it. And near the table you can see a large goblinoid creature, a bugbear, because you've encountered these before. An older looking bugbear, stooped shoulders. It looks very aggressive. You can see also the goblin that you were chasing. But most importantly, you can see on the floor near a table an unconscious dwarf who has been badly beaten.
Here we go, finally.
It is indeed one Gundren Rockseeker.
Yes.
And that, even though we're going short, that is where we will end this week's episode. Because I feel like it's important that we give this the time it needs. So we will end the episode there, again a little bit shorter than we normally would. So thank you very much, of course, for tuning in, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate on your podcatcher of choice, and of course leave a comment, because we love interacting with those. And we will catch you guys not next week, but actually after Christmas. So happy holidays, enjoy, and keep an eye out on our socials, and we might have some extra stuff for you then, hopefully. But in the meantime, have a great Christmas, and we'll see you in 2023.
Bye-bye.